Right, good afternoon everyone. Thanks very much for coming to the last session as well, but particularly my session. Yeah, today I'm going to tell you about some work that Mango have been doing with AT&T. Okay, and just before I get into it, so this is about the RCloud project. Before today, could I get a show of hands? Who has actually heard of RCloud before? Okay, great. A few of you. Okay, anyone used it actually from those from that group? Okay. Cool. All right, so in a nutshell, if R, and I'm going to have to look at this because I never remember, is a language and environment for statistical computing and graphics, then RCloud is trying to be a shared environment for such analysis, right? Have any hands again, actually? Has anyone used IPython Notebook or Jupyter? Okay, so it's a bit more mature as a project. Okay, so that's kind of, keep that notebook idea in mind, and then RCloud is, you know, in the spirit of open source, doing something similar but different. So it's notebook-style sharing of our code, but also very much focused around sharing. Okay, so it's all about teams sharing analysis. Okay, so before we get into that, I'll just explain why would AT&T take the time to develop RCloud. So Mango have not developed RCloud. We are helping with some parts of things. And this is a project that started in AT&T to solve a very specific need that they have, a need I think that other people may have in the future. So why would they do that? And then it's more or less in two parts. I'll go through RCloud as it is, free and open source project. You can go and check it out yourself. And then I'll go into the Mango-based piece, which is turning RCloud into nice presentations. Okay. Right, so before that, before. I'd just like to acknowledge the people we work with. So a number of people at AT&T, particularly Manny and Robert in that group, who essentially they're using this on a day-to-day basis, and they wanted us to help them make it do something it didn't, right? And the RCloud core team itself, I think Simon Urbanek, who's a core R contributor, so it's his project, he's responsible for this, and Gordon Woodhull, he does a lot of the front-end side. So, you know, you learn when you work with RCloud for a bit, you need a front-end specialist and a back-end specialist. Okay, and then I'm really bad with pronunciation, but Carlos Scheidegger, he's very much done some packages to do with connecting R to GitHub, and that's really important for RCloud. Okay, so why is there a need for RCloud? AT&T, a very large corporation, and have a very large research wing. For anyone that doesn't know, Bell Labs, where a number of important things like transistors, C++, and S were invented. And as such, they have a big tradition of using, well, at first S, then that went to S+, and now R. And then Simon Urbanek joined in 2004, I think. So, and that's really cemented the use of R in AT&T. And now they have, so many groups using it, right? So they have research groups on, you know, speech analytics, customer care, network, fault tolerance, stuff like this, everything. Huge big data groups. And R is a very common tool there. So I guess in some respects, in terms of R, they're possibly ahead of where most, especially big companies are. Okay? But what they found because of that, with the analytics explosion, is that they needed to start reining this in. So groups sharing lots of techniques and methods, right? This is scattered on many people's laptops all over the place. They wanted to bring that together, so they started the RCloud project in 2013. Okay, and you know, the problem you might say is that speaking to many people here, you might be one or two R developers in a company, and you're looking to grow this. So you have small teams, you can all gather around one laptop, right? And maybe you can email each of the data. Okay, I know that's probably not true anymore, but so you've got smaller teams, and you know there are brilliant tools, right? RStudio Server, I really recommend getting a box with that on, and you can, you know, version control, all that. That's brilliant. But when you start getting to really big teams, and I mean really big teams, everyone using it. Imagine everyone in your organization, from HR, finance, everyone starts using it, right? Excel vanished tomorrow. I think we'd have a bit of a panic because we go from everyone being able to get around one laptop to now it's just too many people. You can't do that anymore. You can't say, hey, everyone, look at this, because there's 50 of them. Okay. And so the problem they have is they have multiple teams on multiple sites. Their data sets are very large, so they have a large data lake, which is changing rapidly. And so they need something a bit better. Okay, so the RCloud Platform, it's a server install, so it's a server installation of R running up in the cloud. It is, right next to your data lake. It is, so it's serving it out to the analysts, so the R users, and then, but also, it's been built in mind with taking that analysis and trying to get it quickly to the people that need to see it, right? And also, if you do something nice and it works, then your colleagues should just be able to take that, start using it, and run away, okay? I've got this link here. Don't all Google at once. You'll kill my internet connection, which I need. But seriously, it is open source. It's available, and I'll come back to minor things if you want some help. Okay, so it's time to take a look. I'm going to go show you the real thing in a second. This is a screenshot of the one I actually use in AT&T. The only reason I highlight that is that if you look on the left here, we have my notebooks, which is quite a lot, and then everyone else is there, right? So it's all about sharing, front and center. They're all their notebooks. Okay, but here is a real notebook. So that's from a kind of an analyst point of view. That's what you would be using if you're using this. If you're interested in sort of a developer's perspective, what we've got is a JavaScript front end, which connects to the server side, which is written in R, and that's served up by RServe. And I think this is one of the coolest things in RCloud that you won't see yourself, but there's this thing called OCAPs, object capability. Essentially, it's a really neat way. It's really easy to set them up. JavaScript can call the server can push to the front end as well. So it's really smooth, both two-way traffic. It's really neat. And then at the back end, it's also connected up to GitHub for authentication. So that's quite nice. You can just use their authentication and also storing the gists. Okay. Got through that quite quickly. So Mango's piece is around presentations. So what we have at the moment is really nice how it is. So this is, you have your notebooks, and you can share them really easy with your peers, right, other analysts. So you send them the code, they understand, they see the R code, they don't get scared about that. And they can run the notebook, and they can hit the big fork button, and then they own it themselves, and they can develop in their own direction. But what we were asked to do is help people to then share that maybe up and down the hierarchy, right? So you want to take your analysis and then show it to someone else, but ideally with the minimum work, right? You want it to stay as close to the analysis as possible. So our aims were to make really high quality presentations, and what's important to them is that our developers, well, in the remit, shouldn't need to know any HTML, JavaScript, okay? So they don't need to learn web technologies. Okay, and then we want to be able to embed interactive content, and the really nice thing is it's all going to be done live, right? So you send someone a presentation, it is the latest numbers for that day when they click that link. Okay, so why did AT&T come to Mango? Well, we have a nice situation at the moment where we have almost equally sized teams of data scientists, so that's people like myself and a number of the people that presented this week. But also we have in-house Java developers and JavaScript developers who, you probably all know developers. They're very proper about how they do things. And also a really great IT team who will, if you can't get RCloud installed, will come over and help you with your virtual machines and everything. Okay, so it's nice, and this is all within, visual range of my desk. So I can go and chat to these people and get things done really quickly. And then one of the comments they made when we were at the start of the project and we were sort of thinking about how to get things done, and they just said, well, we just kind of thought we'd throw this at you and you'd work it out. And I'd like to think that's what we kind of do pretty well. We just work it out. Okay, so what we're going to do is build an extension to RCloud. So we have the RCloud system, and they've made it really nice and easy to extend it. So it's really easy to add a module, because an extension to RCloud is simply an R package. Because an R package has this lovely directory structure. It's really easy to lay it out how you kind of want it. For those familiar with R packages, you always have your root, and then all your R code goes here. So that would be everything that's going to run on the server side, neatly put away in the R folder. And then we have a web root here. So this is sort of static web content. So you can put in your own web pages or CSS, any JavaScript you want to put in. And then also we can keep in some other sort of JavaScript that the client won't be able to see, which is pushing OCAPs and so on and so forth. Okay, and we can store this all really neatly inside an R package. If you don't want to know about R packages, don't worry. It's just very easy to extend RCloud. Okay, so time to take a look at that. So I'm going to go back to where we began with this notebook. And now I'm going to say, okay, this analysis was great. It went really well. Now I'm going to try and share this with my boss, maybe. So I'm going to make a slideshow presentation. So where are we at now with this? So the roadmap for the future is all about deployment. So I'm going to, please go and have a look at the GitHub site, but you might struggle to install it at the moment. If you really are interested in installing it, then drop me an email, because I've done it loads, and I've got a kind of vagrant file that was working just about okay. So hopefully you should be able to get it up on a virtual machine quite quickly. But they're aware that, you shouldn't need to be going to IT too much about this. So I know that in the roadmap is all about getting it inside Docker containers, and so that people can put it onto EC2. I know they've made some strides in that direction. And then from a feature point of view, there's loads of features that I haven't shown you that are already done, but new ones. So for example, private notebooks with encryption and so on. That's well along the way. Maybe not done, I shouldn't have said that. And then also from kind of our side, this is the push from the users, is how can we make it easier to get what we want done? So we've already completed this proof of concept for this, and we're now working on a new project. I can't tell you too much about it, but we've been making a kind of slideshow website, so we're kind of trying to go to the next level and make some more general web pages. Right, so in summary, for the developers here, or people that might be interested in developing it, it's public and open source. You can go and mess about with it right away. It's really easy to extend. It's got this growing API, so it's improving all the time. Really nice and easy to connect front end and back end. It's really seamless for that. And then for an analyst, you've got this really nice collaborative environment. If someone does something good, they just tend to send you a link, and you go, oh yeah, that's good, fork, and then you have it. Right? And it's just really simple to share your analysis. So you can, with another analyst, you just send them the link. Or if you're trying to just quickly show your boss, or maybe just don't want to bother someone with the code, then we have this nice extra presentation layer as well. So I hope you now all heard of it. So from 4 to however many we are. Do go and check it out. And yeah, it's improving all the time, and keep an eye on it, I'd say. Thank you very much.